Hi friends, how are you fine? So this is our second lecture on Discovering Touch by Anne Williams or A.R. Williams. You know, yesterday in the last class we saw Egyptians, their belief in afterlife. There are three gods who come in this lesson, and they are one is Amun, the major god. The Egyptians worshipped equivalent to Greek Zeus or Romans Jupiter or Jove. And then the second god who comes in is Aten, that is the sun disk, worship of the sun disk initiated by Amenhotep IV. And then a third god who comes is Osiris. Some people pronounce it as Osiris, and that is god of afterlife. So in this lesson we meet three gods, isn't it? And in this lesson also we meet a famous British archaeologist, Howard Carter, and the name of the professor is not given, that is the anatomy professor who x-rayed the mummified body of King Tut in 1968. And of course you have got a team of specialists in radiology, forensics, and also computer CT scan. That is CT scan. That's common, I think everybody knows that, what is CT scan. And then we come across a director, his name is Sahi Habas. And you have got also some helpers. So these are the people. First we have gods, and then we have a famous archaeologist, an anatomy professor, then a team of experts. Understand? Specialists. The name, the author is, of course, this is taken from National Geographic, volume 207, number 6. And it deals with unfurling the mysteries of the mummified body of the boyish king Tutankhamun. Last class I explained the name now. Tutankhamun. Ankh means life. Amun, mother god. So image of living god. Image of living god. That's also a belief. Egyptians believed that the pharaohs, whether man or woman, they are the images of God. They are gods, not images. They are gods for them. Understand? For them. And it is the duty of the citizens to work for them as slaves. That's why you find all those huge pyramids. One pyramid I told you now, Khufu, 138.8 meters. That is about 450 feet. Isn't it tall? So such huge structures are made by years. We also saw that it takes about 20 to 30 years for constructing or building or erecting a pyramid. That's why the boyish king could not be buried within a pyramid because his death was unexpected, untimely, and also he ruled only for 9 years. Probably by 18 also he might have died. Teenager, that's what it is. That's what. Alright, so the main points you can see, as I have written in the board, you can see. First is the untimely death of the teenager king Tut. There we can see Tutankhamun. That is the world's most famous mummy. World's most famous mummy. Last class we also saw now how mummification is done. 70 days, 40 plus 30. And then you find this boy king, he ruled only for 9 years. Second point is discovery of the tomb in 1922 by Howard Carter. So there are many speculations. The extreme speculation was that he was murdered. We don't know whether it's true or not. So the hero of this excavations, archaeological excavations. We can say this Howard Carter in this lesson that we are doing, discovering touch. Third point is what Carter did in 1920s. The British archaeologist, what did he do? So his interest was the funerary treasures, recording of the funerary treasures, or documenting of the funerary treasures. What are these funerary treasures? Funeral, burial. Richest royal collection we ever found. And what are these richest royal collection? Stunning artifacts in gold. Stunning means surprising, astonishing. See? And then with the eternal brilliance, that means pure 916 plus something. We are thinking, we know only about 916. This is not more than that. So eternal brilliance, with eternal brilliance. And also there were everyday things like board games, because he was a boy. Bronze razor, linen undergarments, then cases of food and wine. So these were the funerary treasures that he listed. And he wanted to further, after listing the funerary treasures here, he took a closer look at the coffin, nested coffin. Means a 3-layer you can see. So that is. So the first one, then a shroud he found. Shroud means a blanket-like thing you can see. That's a bed sheet, something like that. Like that I said. Here it is linen, very costly clothes. Shroud adorned with willow and olive leaves, wild celery, and also lotus petals. So that is the first thing that attracted him. Then when he reached the mummy, he finds solid coffin, gold coffin. The coffin is solid gold, 916 plus. And then he said this very difficult. When he reached, he found that it is very strongly attached to the resin. Last class I told you, mummies were wrapped in linen and also and pasted with some paste on it. That is called a resin. Why paste? Glue-like thing, because the wrapping should hold the mummy tight. Therefore, there is that resin. So what happened is it has become solidified after many years. 3,300 years ago this happened. So solidified. And so what Carter did was, he thought that he did not want to touch it and spoil it. So he took the mummy, means the coffin, then placed it under the scorching sun, the blazing sun of Egypt, the Egyptian deserts, Then Fahrenheit 149, no movement. So he took a chisel and started cutting it, see? And then removed it. Carter's men removed the head and also major joints also to study this. Then the mummy, he made it free by chiseling, not by sun's heat. And during that time, the royal family is fabulously wealthy. Fabulously means beyond your imagination, wildest imagination. They are wealthy. You are head of wealthy people like Bill Gates, millionaires, multi-millionaires, like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and also India, Mukesh Ambani and all those, But far, you can say, richer than all these people. So fabulously wealthy. And the Egyptians believed that when you die, you have to make a journey through the underworld to the great beyond. That is it. As Hamlet has said, that undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns. So that country, that undiscovered country, there if you reach there, Osiris will be there to embrace you. Osiris is the god of afterlife. So the Egyptians believed that they have to make the soul of the dead has to make long journey. And the belief was that they make this journey only at night. And on the way they have many obstacles. They get over these obstacles, they have got precious collars, then inlaid necklaces, bracelets, rings, amulets. Amulets means charms, amulets, and then ceremonial aprons, sandals, sheaths for fingers and also for toes, mask of pure gold. Now we are very familiar with mask these days. So for the mummy here, or for the soul of King Tut, there was a gold mask, pure gold, eternal brilliance. So these are all the funeral treasures. These were used for or deposited with or kept in this coffin for the soul to start its journey through the underworld and reach Osiris, the king of afterlife. So, as I told you, for a closer examination of the mummy and its treasures and so on, Carthage men removed the head, severed almost all joints, and after studying this, they reassembled it on a sand surface, and then inside a wooden coffin on a sand surface, and then put it back everything and took it to the tomb. And this is what he did. Reassembled them in a wooden box and placed it back. So this is what Carthage men did, what Howard Carter and his assistants did. That is first stage of the study of this mummy. Second stage, 1968, the mummy was X-rayed by an anatomy professor, and stunning revelations, so to say. And that is startling revelations. That is not stunning but startling. You can say both the same meaning. The breastbone and front ribs were missing. He found that out. That is, it's a story of lost things. And anatomy professor, his name is not given here. For him, his study revealed that there were some losses, like the breastbone and the ribs missing. Maybe the time when Howard Carter was doing his archaeological adventures, as I have said, probably that might have happened. Now, the next point, of course, fifth point is the family line of King Tut. How did the boy king become the king at that early age? And it begins with Amenhotep III, his father or grandfather, we don't know. Amenhotep III he was a member of the 18th dynasty. Dynasty means a family line of kings. And that was known as the golden age of that dynasty. He died, then Amenhotep IV took over. And this Amenhotep IV, he was a very strange one. What happened is that he did not worship Amun. Amun, the major god. Initially he said, I will worship only Aten. Aten means the sun disk. And then he changed his name to Akhenaten. Akhenaten. See, at the end there is Aten. He changed the old religious city of the Thebes to, he moved the old religious city of Thebes, Thebes, to Akhenaten. So he found out a new city, and then he said, this is Akhenaten. Now it is known as Amarna, A-M-A-R-N-A. He smashed all the images of Amun. Also, he closed down all the temples of Amun. And after some day, he went wacky. Wacky means almost half cry, and he died. And then there is a very brief interval. During that time, Smenkhkare, a ruler from somewhere came, we don't know anything about that, and his rules lasted only for maybe a few years or so. And then he left. He exited without a trace. That is what Anne Williams says. He exited without a trace. And then comes in the family line comes Tut. He was a boy, but he had to take over. And when he took over, what happened? He said, I will not worship Aten, I will only worship Amun. So he restored everything. When he took over the kingdom, what happened? He was known as Tutankhaten. Then when he said, I am not Tutankhaten, I am Amun. Then so he changed it to Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun, the living image of God Amun. That is the meaning of that name. So and he restored everything. Whatever his predecessor Amenhotep the undid, he got back. All the temples were opened and the new images of Amun were made. So he became the slave of or a worshipper of Amun. So and took the name Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun. He started as Tutankhaten because his immediate predecessor, he was Akhenaten. So he also Tutankhaten. But then he wanted to restore everything, and so he called himself Tutankhamun. And for short, and we fondly and with a great love, we call him Tut. Tut. Understand? Then the Egyptian mummy projects started sometime in 2003. And their main business was to make an inventory of all the mummies. So archaeologists maybe from different parts of the world came and they started counting. Finally, they found that it was about 600 of them. And after this, after making the inventory, the next stage was to scan this, because medical technology as well as in archaeology, many advancements were made. And with those, armed with those new weapons, so to say, that is medical technology, like a CT scan, X-ray and so on. So they started studying the mummies. The first one they selected was, of course, the mummified body of King Tut, the Boyish king. A CT scanner, millions, so that is, it is said that it is about head to toe they made 1,700 digital X-ray images from head to toe. So that the size of each image was 0.62 millimeter. That means pixels, you know. Pixel means picture element. Picture element means small dots. Even I think less than a mustard zeros. So when these dots come together, they form or they appear as pictures. Actually, we don't see picture as such. These things you know, I think. There's no need of myself explaining these things. Pixels. So 0.62. And scanning of touch. I said you have got all this tens, a team of specialists of radiology, forensics and anatomy. For what? For a forensic reconstruction of the mummified body of King Tut. A forensic reconstruction to finally solve for what? Answering the question, how he died, how old was he when he dies. Oh, these things, of course, X-ray cannot reveal. That's another point. Workmen carried him from his tomb. Then there was a snack. The $1 million scanner went out. Went on a strike because some sand got into the cooler. So anyhow it was substituted, and after scanning he was taken back to the tomb. Astonishing images of Tut on a computer screen, very clearly as in an anatomy class, could be seen. Neck vertebrae, then a hand, several views of the rib cage. You could find that at a transection of the skull. All these things they could see on a computer screen. And before that, they also were attracted by the murals. You can see in your book, in our textbook, the third picture is Tut meeting Osiris in the underworld. Tut with Osiris. And that is the valley of the departed now. And then he says everything was done. He was kept back in his tomb. Then the wind subsided. King Tut back resting in the valley of the departed. The Orion a constellation watching the soul of Osiris. Orion is a constellation, a group of stars, a cluster of stars. Ursa Major is another constellation, Gemini is another constellation. Constella, stella means star, con means together. Stars standing together, that is constellation means. So the text ends like this, very beautiful, saying that the wind had stopped. The winter air lay cold and still, like death itself, and the work was over in this valley of the departed. Just above the entrance to Tut's tomb stood Orion, a cluster of stars. The constellation that ancient Egyptians knew, the soul of Osiris, the god of the afterlife, watching over the boy king. So very beautiful. So this is what happened. Understand? And then you find a dark belief. And then during the CT scan, something happens. There is also a belief that if you disturb the mummy, the wrath of the mummy will fall upon the person. Even those persons who are trying to study this mummy and disturbing this mummy can die. There is a curse like that. So what happened is that the time of CT scan means the introductory part of the CT scan, nature showed its fury. How did it show? Angry wind stirred up the ghostly dust devils. Angry wind, the wind was angry, stirring the sands, and it looks like dust devils. The wind was like dust devils. Dark-bellied clouds scudded across the sky. Dark-bellied is extremely dark. Clouds scattered, moved fast forward like this. During monsoon, we can see now. If you look up, you will find someday the clouds moving fast like this. So that's called the fast forward. Scattered across the desert sky, veiling the stars in casket grey. Casket grey means that dark grey. You couldn't see the stars, only they were behind, or they were veiled by, or we can say veiling, veiling. Veil is for covering. You can see nuns using veil for the head, veil. It's covering their head. V-E-I-L, veil. So what happens here is the dark-bellied clouds scattered across the desert sky, veiling the stars in casket grey. When you look up, starry night, but because of this dark-bellied clouds scattered across the desert sky, what happened is that you can only find this casket grey, a dark grey color. You couldn't find the stars, because the stars were behind the casket grey created by or formed by the dark-bellied clouds that scattered across the sky. There was wind. So this is how nature responded or reacted, you can say. So 5th January 2005. It was on that day here, 2005, 5th January, 6 p.m. That's why the stars come in. Stars in the sky, there is casket grey covered. Couldn't see. So this is the day of reckoning, so that we can say, as far as the mummified body of King Tut was concerned. So these are the main points, and the ending is the most interesting. Ending. I will read out those sentences again. He says that the wind had stopped. You see, 5th January 2005, when they started, angry clouds, dark bucket clouds, angry wind, dust devils, commotion. And some people who were, some tourists were there, they said, oh, this may be the curse of the Pharaoh. The Egyptians believed that there any movement or any type of interference or any type of intervention, we can say, medical or otherwise, with the life of, with the mummified bodies of kings, pharaohs and so on, that will bring curse and even death upon you. So the people who were there, the tourists, they were looking down and then they were saying, this may be because of the curse of the Pharaoh. So the wind had stopped. When everything was over, the wind had stopped. The winter air lay cold and still like death itself. The winter air lay cold and still like death itself. The storm subsided again. It's just like the storm subsiding in an atmosphere, calm and quiet. It's like death itself in this valley of the departed. And then what happens? Who is watching? Just above the entrance to touchstone stood Orion, the constellation that ancient Egyptians knew, the soul of Osiris, the god of the afterlife, watching over the boy king. This is how this lesson ends. Super. It's an experience if you read it. You have got many ideas to come up of archaeology, of modern medical technology, but still the lingering mysteries remain unanswered. How old was he? And how did he die? Question mark. So you can see the main points I have written here. The wrath of the nature also I told you. Then what the computer screens, CT scan results on the computer screen, grey head, neck vertebrae, a hand, several views of the rib cage and so on. So a virtual human body, three-dimensional virtual human body could be created by a CT scan. Understand? Yes. So I most humbly invite you to read the text, see, and you are also welcome to listen to my lectures. Hope that you enjoyed my introduction. In the last class I told in my lecture 1, I told you about Egyptians, Egyptian belief, mummification and all those things. And now today, this is the text. What are you going to see in the text when you enter? I think it is clear. Again, remember 3 gods, see, and then 3 themes. First one is God Amun, second is Aten, God Aten, third is Osiris. 3 teams, Howard Carter and his men, then an anatomy professor. He also might be accompanied by some people. Then the medical specialist in medical technology, radiologist, forensics, and also CT scanner. They got $1 million scanner supplied by Siemens and society. And also you found the whole thing was managed by somebody to oversee these things. There was Shahi Hawas. So these are the people appearing. Then we have got the mummy, study of the mummy, funerary treasures, then X-ray, then CT scan. And in between you will also find how nature expressed its wrath, if you believe it like that. Or it may be just an accidental thing that it is desert and it's very hot days, naturally there will be winds. If you want, you can believe it in that way, or we can also, along with the Egyptians, think that it was the wrath of the mummy, the boy king coming upon the people who disturbed his sleep, eternal sleep. Surrounded by eternal brilliance of gold covering, gold bracelets, gold amulets, gold rings, gold mask in a pure, absolutely pure, purest gold coffin. See you. Bye. Have a nice day. But before you go, please take this. That is for your day-to-day life. Mask prevents the killer, distance prevents the killer, cleanliness prevents the killer, healthy life prevents the killer. Prevention is better than cure. I think everybody will agree with this. Bye. Have a nice day. Enjoy yourself.